Jeff Halley left Boston College last night. I know vast majorities of you are not Boston College fans, but I'm telling you this matters for you, but maybe not the reasons that you think. Okay, so Jeff Halley, there was a headline late last night. He's leaving for the Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator spot. Now, I was pretty lazy on this, I'll admit to you. I have talked about us having a chronic problem in this sport of good coaches looking to get out. And I do not know Jeff Halley, and I've never met him. And so I blindly looked at the situation and said, that must be what it is. He must have been looking to get out, and it must be nothing more than that. Now, some more informed people on the matter have since said, no, maybe not in this case. That point was standing. This particular case looks like a guy who just got a better opportunity with more money, and it was more attractive to him, and maybe he wanted to get to the NFL, and maybe he wasn't on such solid ground at Boston College anyway. Okay. I also think, for the second time in the show, could be a two things are true situation. Jeff Halley may not have hit the exit door, contrary to sourced reports out there, because he hates college football, but some other guys may be looking to. So that doesn't mean we don't have an issue in the sport. It just means it may not have been the trigger mechanism for Jeff Halley leaving. But since a lot of folks have been talking about this, kind of like the NCAA stuff, I did want to circle back to this. You know, this is a drum we've been beating on this show for a long time. And I'm going to continue to beat the drum because I think it's valid. But every time I talk about the plight of the college football coach right now, most of you agree with it. And if you don't sympathize with it, at least you get it. But there is a healthy amount of you who say, I cannot feel sorry for people who make millions of dollars, even though most of them don't, by the way. We're not just talking about head coaches here, guys. But you say, I can't feel sorry for guys who make a ton of money. I can't feel sorry for guys who coach a game for a living while I do this or that for a living. And I get the sentiment. I get that. But there is also a chorus a lot of you sing, and you say, they're just whining. You're going to have to work hard if you're a coach in college football. That's what I've had some of you say to me. Now, I want to say, because I've referenced this a lot on the show tonight, I respect all of your opinions. I don't have to agree with them. None of you agree all the time with me. That's fine. This particular one, though, I think is really misguided. Because I talked to a lot of coaches about this. None of them are afraid of hard work. If they were, that'd be a totally different thing, and I would not mislead you on that, because trust me, there are some of them out there who are probably more cut out for life in another line of business. But in this particular case, I'm talking about guys who grind and would work 25 hours in a day if you'd give it to them. It's not the work that they're afraid of. It's the fact that they kind of don't recognize the game anymore, and change is not always progress. And that's the case in college football right now. You want to know the thing that coaches complain about the most? They don't coach. They don't coach. The least amount of the little pie chart of their time spent in a given year is coaching football. You're a defensive line coach. What would I think you do? I think you coach defensive linemen. I think you spend vast majorities of your time evaluating the position. I think you spend time honing your players' crafts. That's a fantasy world. That's what the game used to be. Now it's, let me make sure I'm re-recruiting my team. Let me make sure I'm up to date on the NIL game and familiarizing myself with that. Of course, you've got your standard recruiting that you've always got to do, but there are like 5 or 6 different buckets that have been dumped into your time allocation that you've got to fill with portions of your time. They don't get to coach anymore. The last thing some of these guys do is coach their guys, and they're tired of it. And I would be too. So the answer in your mind could either be, well, tough, move along, we'll fill your spot. Yeah, there's no shortage of guys who want to coach football. Are there enough of them who are qualified that you'd be happy with at your program? The answer is no, whether you think so or not. The answer is no. You could be that way. Or B, you could say, hey, it doesn't have to be the case. So let me tell you something. It may sound a little doom and gloomish when I talk like this. Guys, we got the best sport in the world. We've got the Lamborghini. It's just covered in graffiti right now. We're not taking it to the scrapyard. It would be one thing if we had a sport that sucked and we were trying to dress it up with gimmicks to try and draw you in and trick you into watching. That's not college football's problem. College football is the greatest sport on the face of the earth. It's just covered in crap. It's like a flower in a landfill right now. Don't kill the flower. Clean up the landfill. That's all people like me are trying to say. And if part of that is overhauling or fixing the college football calendar or fixing the structure of the sport, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying do it anyway. It's difficult. Do it anyway. It's JFK talking about going to the moon. We don't choose to do it because it's easy. We choose to do it because it's hard. And I'm not going to give the speech, and my JFK impression sucks. But nevertheless, this is the greatest sport in the world. Even with all of the garbage going on around it, it's still must see. I just want it to be at its best. I never take for granted that this thing will be here forever. And I don't know about you. Well, I do know about you. Most of you don't make a living doing this. I'd love to keep making a living doing this. It's really fun to just have to sit behind a mic in a white t-shirt a few days out of the week and talk about what I would be talking about for free anyway. I know, because I used to work jobs where this is all we talked about all day. So yeah, that's how I feel about that.